Well, good evening, everyone. Really good to be in your companies once again for another session of Phenomenal Leadership. I'm your friend, Bishop-elect Edlin Scott. And really want to thank God for this chance and opportunity again that we do have, that we can come into your homes with this powerful broadcast. So I want you to reach out to somebody, let them know that I'm live, and I got an absolutely beautiful teaching for you this evening. We're going to be talking about when to lead, knowing when to lead. So I want you to go ahead and reach out to somebody, inbox them, share, like, and share. We're seen on two platforms. We're on Facebook, Voice of Deliverance organization page, and of course we're at my YouTube page. So if you go to YouTube, I want you to subscribe to my channel and then share it. So we got an absolutely beautiful program for you today. Been trying to iron out my internet problems, and hopefully well, it looks like we got to go into tonight, so we're going to kind of play with it and see where it goes. But let's get right into tonight's program. This program has been pending for such a long time, and I'm really excited to get it off to you tonight. Say hello to everyone that is coming in on the broadcast. I see a lot of you are joining me. Good to have you join me for Phenomenal Leadership. This Saturday morning at 8 a.m. I'm going to be doing Morning Glory Saturday. I want you to be a part of that. Morning Glory is something that I do twice a week. Saturday mornings is a virtual service, and then Sunday morning it's an in-person service. Again, it is also broadcast on the various platforms. So I want you to be here. There is a word from the Lord. Okay, so let's get into what we want to talk about. And what I want to talk about is knowing when to lead. Now, I have been struggling with knowing when to lead. Sometimes if I ask my wife to do something, before I give her a chance to, do it, because most of the time it's something that she can do, I would just start micromanaging or telling her what to do or how to do it. And so we kind of have a little struggle there because I seem not to know when to lead. I think what leaders do is leaders know what to do next. And because sometimes we know what to do next, we seem to kind of tell people what to do and want to do it at the same time. So a good thing that leaders need to learn is when to lead. When do I put my input? How long into the process before I say something? And one of the struggles that my wife, she tells me is, I understand what it is that you want done. I understand if I text somebody and they don't answer, then I know to call them. If I call them WhatsApp and they don't answer, I know to call direct. And so we talk about that. And when I saw this, I smiled to myself because I said, I am guilty of this. I am guilty of not knowing when to lead. And good leaders need to know when to lead. And so this is called timing. When is it the right time to say something? When is it the right time to put your hand in it? When is it the right time to ask, do you need some help? When is it the right time to find out, is it done? Is it going to be done? When is it the right time to say something? I don't care how good your planning is. And leaders are good. Leaders are very good at analyzing and crafting solutions. They are very good at analyzing the situation and crafting out the solution. This, based on what I've seen, this is going to be the solution for that. So leaders are very good at that. But I'll tell you this. No matter how good you've crafted the solution, no matter how good you've analyzed the environment, if you do not pay attention to timing, everything can crumble. Absolutely everything can crumble. If you're cooking and you don't put the ingredients in at the right time, your end result will not be what you're expecting. So everything has a time. Everything has a time. You can have an ingredients for a cake. You can have all the ingredients on the table. If you don't beat that egg the right way, if you don't stir the mixture together the right way, your end result will not yield what you saw someone else serve to you. So you got to pay attention to your timing. You got to know when to open your mouth. You got to know when to put your input. Timing is very, very important. Everything pretty much. The Bible says to everything, there's a time to every purpose under the heaven. So timing is very important. You got to know when. As much as it's important to know where and what, knowing what to do or where to go, you got to know when to do it. When to do it is important. Okay, you know you got to get across the street. You don't just walk without across the street anytime you feel like, the important thing for me is getting across the street, so I got to just go across the street without looking, watching the traffic and timing it to figure out when it's going to be the correct time to go across the street. So, leaders, we must know when to lead. We must know when the project needs our input, where it's stalling. It doesn't make sense leading when you're not leaded for the leading. Like my wife would always say, I understand what needs to be done. So you don't need to remind me to jot that number down. Because of her professional training, she's an educator, so she always got a pad in her hand, so she's always writing. So I don't need to remind her. And I guess for some people it really becomes annoying when you're not given the chance to at least see the thing through before someone comes to tell you what's the next move. Now, if you don't know the next move, then the necessity of someone telling you what to do, it becomes important. But knowing when to lead, your timing is very important. And so in order to build that correct timing, to build that right timing, there are some key things that you got to do. One of the key things that you got to know in order to build good timing is you have to understand the whole thing. If you don't understand the project, then you don't know when you're needed or when something else is needed. So understanding is point number one. In order to build good timing, you got to understand. I don't know, when I was younger, a lot younger, we used to skip with ropes. And there's a time when you skip by yourself, or two people would hold the rope and spin it, and you gotta really time yourself to get in on the skipping. And if you don't time yourself correctly, you will stop the rope from spinning because the rope will hit you. So you gotta know when it just passed you and about to hit the ground, so you can know when to get in on it. So leaders must have a firm grip on the situation. Leaders must hold a firm grip on the situation. In order to learn timing, you must know the whole thing. So you must know the cake to know when it is time for the egg, time for the sugar, time for the flour, and all the other ingredients to go into it. So leaders must have an understanding of everything. If you do not have an understanding of everything, more than likely your timing is going to be off. The second thing that leaders has to learn or have a firm grip of, you got to possess the ability, or you got to be mature. Maturity is very important for timing, right? It takes a whole lot for me to delegate something or tell my wife to do something. It takes plenty maturity to wait it out and see what she does. Maturity is important. Okay? If a leader's motive, if your motives aren't right, then your timing can be off. Leader's motive has to be right, and your motive comes with your maturity. If your motives are wrong, then your timing gonna be wrong. If your motives are personal and not about the team, then it's gonna be when you want it done. And then when you want it done may not be the best time to get it done. I did a teaching one time and I talked about how leaders must leave room. There must be room in leadership for someone to tell you this may not be the best time to do it. And you don't take it personal. Don't get angry, don't get upset. If this is not the best time, then can you tell me what's the best time? Because one thing I've come to realize is that people on the front line see more of the battle than people back in the back office. So people that's on the floor in your store will get more active with the people. They'll hear more of the complaints than you will hear in the back office. The only time the back office is going to hear what's going on the floor when it's above the people on the floor. If the solution is not solved on the floor, then it'll get to the back office. So people that are in front will hear more than the leader. People will go through more than the leader. People will catch more hell than the leader. So the leader must be mature that to realize that, hey, your motive has to be so right. And when your motives are right, it'll keep your timing right. The next thing to build timing is you got to be confident. You have to be confident. I was listening to John Maxwell and he said something. He says, if you're on the verge of bankruptcy, you're not going to call your friend to help you who is also bankrupt. If your light is off and you need your light on, you're not going to call someone who's light off too. Hey, look here, my light, they just turned my light off. I need to borrow some money to get my light on. Because they're light off too. People don't follow people that are not successful. And when you are successful, it shows confidence. So, in order to build timing, you have to be confident. You have to be confident. People follow leaders who know what must be done. People follow leaders who know what must be done. So you must be confident. Then the next thing is to build timing, you must display decisiveness. You can't have timing right if you don't know when to make a decision. It just goes on and on and on and on. You just don't know when to make a decision. You're just watching it. And you don't know when to make a decision. Leaders have to be decisive. Wishy-washy leaders creates wishy-washy people. Jokey leaders create jokey people. Leaders that are afraid create people who are afraid. Leaders whose timing is off creates people whose timing is off. Leaders who micromanage creates people who just like to micromanage. You are who mentors you is pretty much who you're going to become. Someone says, show me your friends and I show you your future. So, leaders need to possess decisiveness to have good timing. Leaders also need experience. If you get knocked down crossing that road, you're going to look up the next time. Now, if you don't look up the next time you cross the road, something wrong with your head. But the next time you're about to cross the road, if you remember you almost got knocked down, you're going to look up. So experience is important. In order to create timing, to know when to lead, it comes with experience. All right? If a leader does not possess experience, they need to gain wisdom from others who have it. And I say this all the time. I love working with Apostle Wallace because I love what he has. And everything that I've gotten from what he has. I'm still with him because I don't have all that he has. So experience creates, see, the Bible says tribulation worketh patience, patience experience hope, and hope makes it not ashamed. If you've gone through it before, you know, hey, we could wait. It's gonna happen. Just give it some time. Wait for it. It's about to happen. And so, leaders must be experienced. And when you are experienced, then it helps your timing. Because of what I've gone through with my wife, I know, don't do that. That's gonna aggravate her. That's not gonna cause the problem to be solved. And so I can wait for it. Give it time. She's gonna get it done. So, in order for you to develop timing, it's kind of like singing. Except someone tells you when you need to come in. You could clap fast for every song, but it'll be off. But in order to develop timing, you listen to somebody and they tell you when it goes on, and so you gain the experience of knowing, okay, so I clap like this for that one, or I clap like that for the other one. The other thing that helps with timing is preparation. Preparation helps with your timing. If the conditions aren't right, leaders must create the right conditions. Some people can only function when in a picture perfect atmosphere. You very rarely. In fact, when you do your dry run, it'll be picture perfect then. And then when you come back, something is off. I used to go to Washington, D.C. every year. And there's this thing that they say in D.C. is, if you don't like the weather, wait 10 minutes. If you don't like the way the weather feels right now, wait 10 minutes and it'll change. So if you structure your life for when the weather feels this way, in 10 minutes it could change. then what do? So leaders are with timing know how to create different situations. And so if you have something to present, you just don't do it until the conditions are right. And that comes with a little patience. You got to wait till those conditions are right. Another thing that helps develop your timing is intuition. Timing often depends on this. And intuition can help you develop your momentum. And when you got momentum going, then you got morale going, because you got a little bit of speed. So the timing has to go with a little intuition. You got to have a feeling that, hey, okay, there's the right move. Now, I don't know how sprinters, but I guess after enough training, I feel like I would get left in the blocks every time. Or I'll be hearing the gun go off before it actually goes off. But leaders has to have, in order to develop good timing, you have to have that intuition. In fact, you know what's about to happen next. When is it supposed to happen? So, 6 things you got to do. Number 1, you must have an understanding of everything. You must have an understanding of everything in order for you to develop timing. Because when you have an understanding of it, then you understand the when and the why. Then you must be mature. I think maturity, maybe I need to do a teaching on maturity, because a lot of times you find leaders take a lot of things personal. Pastor Scott, I don't like how you preach. I mean, you mad at me. You just don't like maybe how I sound or what I say, but it's not me. See, a lot of times if you're not mature, you take a lot of things people say to you personally, and then that becomes a problem. That becomes a problem when you take it personally. So, in order to develop timing, to know when to lead, you must have an understanding of the entire situation. Then you must be mature. You don't need to be a leader if you're not mature. Your motives has to always be right. Your motive has to always be right. One of the things I'm coming to understand and I'm learning and I'm really appreciating is leadership is not about me, it's about you. Leadership is not about me, it's about you. Leadership is not about Bishop Scott, it's about whoever Bishop Scott is talking to tonight. Adding value to people. I was trying to figure out, how do I do this? How do I get this done? I've been struggling with my internet. I've been struggling with equipment problems. And I've been trying to figure out how do I get it done. Now, the easy road would have been, say, just forget it. But I cannot miss an opportunity to not add value to somebody's life. Zig Ziglar said, when you help people get what they want, they will help you get what you want. And so, because I have some needs, I got to help you get what you want. And so leadership is all about making people feel good about themselves, influencing them. And so that's why I'm in your life. So, understand maturity, confidence. Confidence. People only follow people who are successful. People only can follow you if you're successful. So you got to know what you're doing. You got to know what you're doing. You ever notice that you'll do 99 things that was right, and the one thing you do wrong is the one that hits the newspaper, or the one that people remember, or the one that people highlights? That's just how it is. So you gotta have an understanding of everything. Gotta be mature. Your motives gotta be right. You gotta have confidence. Decisiveness is important when you're trying to develop timing, because you got to know when to lead, got to know when to make that decision. You got to know when, hey, enough has passed, enough has gone on. You got to bring a stop to this. I was listening to somebody, right? Someone was speaking, and they were really making a mess of things, and nobody stopped them. There are people that had the power to stop them, and nobody stopped them. They just allowed them to go on and on and on. A friend of mine talked to me, I think it was last week, and they said to me, someone told me something about you. And they sent me a text, and they said, I deleted the text before I read it because I didn't want to allow my spirit to be contaminated with the thought about you. And that was so powerful for me. You know how many of us allow it to just read it, see it, allow it to go on and on and on. And once it's in your spirit, you have all the trouble in the world getting it out. So you got to be careful what you allow to be dumped into your spirit. To make that decision, decisiveness, experience. If you don't possess it, go get it. If you do not possess it, go get it. Go get it. I love John Maxwell. I'm really loving him. I'm loving him more and more and more. And I'm trying now to he got a program going on, and I'm trying to get to it because I am not satisfied with being smart. My idea is, how smart can I be? And the only way to be smart is to put more stuff in this head of mine. Go out there and get more stuff. And so that's my motivation. Go out there and get some more stuff. So intuition. You gotta have that allow that spirit of discernment to go out there and tell you when to move. You have to have that intuition in the way. Bam, this is the right moment. Let that first ball pass you. I know it looked like you're about to get strikeout, but let the first one pass. Let the other one pass. The third one coming, it's going to be your ball. Hit that one. Swing at that one. Experience. And then preparation. 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 Not because I'm the leader doesn't mean that I don't have to cultivate. My entire life is about cultivating. I was so blessed when I read, ye are the salt of the earth. You are the salt of the earth. God said, you are important. You are important. Your job is important. The people that you're doing the job with, they are important. Everything about the job is important. Every single thing. You're important. What you do is important. And who you do it to is important. Very important. Very important. Well, I'm at the end of this broadcast. When you make the right decision at the right times, you will achieve the right results. It'll happen every time. Success is a combination of right moves. When you make the right decision at the right time, you will get the right result. And that's without fail, without a doubt. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Thank you so much for being a part of the broadcast. Appreciate you so much in such a special way for sharing with me. Let's continue to pray for those that are mourning the death of a loved one. I heard from my friend in Florida. She lost a loved one. Let's continue to pray for her as she goes through her hour of bereavement. Earth has no sorrow that heaven cannot cure. God is too wise to make any mistake, too just to do anything at all wrong. Listen, Voice of Deliverance's 40th year convention comes up on April 24th. April 24th. We're going to be going from that Monday until that Sunday. We're looking for a high time in the Lord. I'm going to give you more information about that as the weeks progress. But we're getting ready for the biggest celebration in our ministry. We are 40 years old. And so something good always happens at the number 40. Thank you so much for being a part of the podcast. Love you, love you, love you. God bless you. Have a wonderful, wonderful